Hi everyone and welcome to my channel S for Shivani. I am Shivani Saxena and I present before you another video in the series Outside Insight. In Outside Insight, I invite the campus, regional, zonal and national level winners of all the important competitions that happen in any B school. Today, we have with us the national winners of Aditya Birla Group's Head Start competition. This competition basically catches you totally off guard because just when you enter the first semester of your college, this competition comes and gives you a great chance to secure summer internship with the prestigious ABG. So today we have with us Amneet, Shagnik and Pallavi who were the national winners of this competition. Join me in the video call and let's know from them what made them win this competition and what their secret mantras were. If you like these kind of videos, then subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to never miss an update from me. Thanks Amneet, Pallavi and Shagnik for joining me in Outside Insight. I'm in touch with a lot of people who are, in their first year and second years. And when it comes to competitions, a lot of people have raised some doubts. I have prepared a list of all those doubts and I'm going to ask you those one by one. So my first question to you is, ABG Head Start happens right when you are, entering the first semester of your college and you are totally caught off guard because तुम्हें कुछ भी idea नहीं है कि competition में क्या करना होता है. So guys, I want to hear from you. What was your preparation strategy? Like any
Okay,
of you
so
can start.
yeah, I'll first go ahead. So, very rightly said that in our first semester, we are not really aware of all those MBA concepts and frameworks that we can put in our presentation. So, we try to leverage the other sources. For example, we firstly reached out to our seniors who had been in the same boat and who had participated in the same competition the previous year. So they were really able to help us out that what are the things that we can possibly, the mistakes that they did and what are the best things that they noticed in other teams that were there, because they made it to the national finals and they were, whatever number of rounds they had been a part of all of it. The second, I think, was one thing that I clearly remember, that we reached out to one of our alums, the college alums, who was working in the same company. So we shared our problem statement with them, and she really helped us with some insightful points. As in, she mentioned that what is the focus areas of the company, the direction that the company is heading in. So whatever major point that she brought, and we try to align it with our solution so that it can be, appeal to the panelists who are we going to present to it.
So guys, now second question is, what was the structure of this competition? So can you just throw some light on the number of rounds you had, what all these rounds required in form of submissions and all that?
The first round of this competition is a simulation game. Actually, the first two rounds are simulation games, which are sort of conducted by Knowlescapes. It was conducted by Knowlescapes at our time. It's a game in which you are supposed to take decisions as if you're taking decisions for a company. And you have, the instructions are pretty clear and they give a demo on how the game will proceed. And it is usually a 1 hour, 40 minutes to 1 hour sort of game. And as you take decisions, the points keep on adding up, and you don't get the result then and there, but they actually take the results of all of the participants, all the teams across the colleges, and they, I think, select the first 20 or so teams, and then those teams proceed to the next round, which is again a simulation game, a similar sort, just a different situation would be given. And then the top 8 or top 10 teams are selected from across colleges. So one thing which was different in this competition was that it is not necessary that a team be selected from your college. So you have to it is like from all over the from Pan India. And then once you get the top 8, you get into the top 8 or top 10, we were given a case study. So for the case study, we were given around 2 to 3 days to submit a solution in the form of presentation. And the template was given to us. It was around 7 slides, I think, except that the case study had a few questions, and you had to answer all those questions. Once you get into the finals, then they give you a template. Like you have to sort of align your presentation to that particular template and submit it. So between the final submission and the penultimate one, you get some time to fine tune your slide. And we remember that the final submission was just one night before the presentation. So we were working also the night, and we could add videos and whatever things.
Okay.
So that was pretty much the format. But I remember that last year the format changed a bit, and I think they had to submit a Word document. So I guess they keep changing the format every year. It's not the only thing that remained constant is that they have the simulation game, which is different from other competitions. And for ABG, that's a constant. That seems to be a constant for the past few years.
Yeah, so just to add to that, like when we are talking about the simulation game, so it's something which we are introduced to only after we are there in the MBA life, if I can say so. So what basically happens is we had no interaction or no idea about what basically it is before we were right there, bang, we had to do it. So it's very important that you go through the demo. They provide you a demo which you can go through. And it's about a 5-10 minute simulation of the which gives you an idea of how to approach this entire thing, the 1 hour long format that you will actually be judged upon. So it is very important that you take care that you learn and learn from the mistakes that you commit in the demo that is provided. So I guess that is something we did did very well, and that helped us score big in the.
Can you give an example of what the situation was like? Like even if it was in the demo,
Okay.
karna kya hota hai basically?
So basically, the demo won't make much sense, but I would tell you what one of the simulations, the 2 evaluative simulations was on. So one of them was basically about a hiring strategy that you have to adopt for a company. So suppose you are given the profiles of 10 candidates from whom you need to select a few according to the requirements that will keep on changing, and these are dynamic requirements that keep on changing during the entire course of the simulation as the simulation progresses. So based on that, every decision that we took earned us a few points. So these points were accumulative, which the cumulative points were that was the final point that we arrived at the end of the simulation, and that is what you would be judged on. So every hiring strategy that you take, every small decision that you do, those are the things which affect your entire score. So you need to be bang on every time, and even if you commit a mistake, you can still learn from it and implement the better strategy during the next meet.
Okay, so like you mentioned about hiring strategies and some other concepts, would you recommend the viewers to go through some frameworks like HR frameworks or some HR concepts which you guys actually used in, let's say, your simulation and the case study round? Is there
no, there's no need for going through any. I feel there's no need for going through any frameworks or anything, because the simulation game is pretty clear in itself, and you don't have to apply any framework or anything. It's basically a lot of common sense, and instructions are given then and there at each point.
I just want to add one point that for these simulation rounds, you really need not to prepare anything as such. Okay, those are those 60 or 50 minutes in which you will have to, probably you can't even decide your strategy beforehand, because like Sagnik mentioned, all the requirements are dynamic, and there would be also a point that at one point of time your strategy might be working absolutely fine with you, but then you will do a blunder, because that happened with us. Our points were like reduced by some major number of points, like got extremely reduced, and we were really tense at that point of time that how to approach it, the situation further. So you constantly need to communicate with each other and try to notice what is happening actually, and try connecting the dots and accordingly move forward. I think that's what would decide in those 60 minutes, that you have to be attentive and notice whatever is happening.
Most important thing is that this happens in the first 2 months, like not even 2 months, like the finale is in the second month. So basically, I think when we started into this competition, it was just the first month. We had just completed 1 month of our MBA. So obviously, even the expectations that the organization has from you in terms of your knowledge in the HR domain won't be that much. They also understand that you are just into the MBA fold. So they would base their decisions on a logical format. They just want to know if you are analytical in your mindset. They would want to know if you can implement decisions quickly, if you have the decision making ability. And that is all that they are looking at in the initial 2-3 rounds.
So my next question is, what is usually the flow of the PPT that you make?
Um, Speaking for this competition specifically, I think we were given questions. I mean, I will take the example of the case study. We were asked to give suggestions on how the company can make the different generations of the workforce work in harmony together.
Okay.
So that was a broad question, and they had given us a background of the company and some statistics, but there was no quantification of data required as such, and basically we just had to do a lot of research on multi-generational workforce in general. So I think we went through research papers and talked to people, and then we came up with a roadmap, our solutions. So the challenge was how can we present our solutions so that it's not just a bullet by bullet thing, but making it in some sort of framework that we ourselves came up with. Okay. And as far as research is concerned, so primary research, we created a survey and floated it among people from our own friends and family. Okay. To know about what is being done in their company, I guess. And we also reached out to, like Amit said, people who are already working in ABG to get a sense of how things are being done in their company. So our case study was such that it required a comprehensive solution, but it is possible that the next case study would be applicable just to the manufacturing or just to the service sector. So it is really case study dependent, and there's no such generic answer to this.
The most important thing, I think, when it comes to the flow of a PPT, unless it has been already given to you, is that every slide should make sense in terms of what is there on that particular slide and also the one which follows it. So it should be understandable that why you progress from one slide to the other and what is the value addition that the next slide brings to the table. So if you keep these things in mind, I think it is very I think it becomes much easier to actually progress with the entire solution that you present. And of course, one of the things we did was when it comes to quantification or the primary research and secondary research that we conducted, even we added a video which was basically a primary research kind of video that we conducted on a few people who we asked the similar questions to. We put it at the end of the in the annexures to support our claims, the claims that we have made, the supporting as a supporting document. You can come up with a special a printed docket of the entire, including the entire slides, as well as the supporting documents that you have come up with. Because it helps them when you are presenting one slide, they can also shift through the your pages and see that what you have done in the next slides and where is the quantification that you are referring to. So that I think also gave us an edge when it comes to the other teams maybe.
So like once the PPT is made and now you are about to go there on the stage and present in the final round, any tips for that?
I think one of the very important thing is that once you've made the PPT, it shouldn't be taken for granted that since you have all three of us had worked on PPT, so do we know what is there and the solutions that we can basically provide a reasoning why we have put in this thing. Everything I personally feel, because I've also talked to a lot of people who feel that rehearsing should not be a thing, it should come naturally. But I think personally for me, it has been that you should properly rehearse that whatever that you're going to talk about, okay? Because they're very particular about the timing also. For example, we were given only 15 minutes. Now you don't want to go up on stage and miss out on any important details because of the timing factor. So it's very important. I remember the previous night, everybody of us were rehearsing continuously for like 2-3 hours and deciding on what is the important thing that we need to highlight, and what are the things that we could possibly let go of. So that's one thing. And also the Q&A factor that comes in after the presentation is also equally important. When any leader asks us any particular question, there were, let's say, 3 to 4 questions that were asked based upon our PPT. So every one of us had an opinion to share on that particular answer. There wasn't like one person was taking the lead and answering on everybody's behalf. And that doesn't also mean that you create a chaos and start answering and you have to take every question.
Sometimes it
Just
happens like a GD on the stage also. Like people are, fighting for the mic.
yeah, but gladly it was a very well balanced out. For any question, we kind of knew that understanding obviously builds that we knew that this person can take the answer, and if we have to add any particular point, then we said that adding to that, or probably this is what I like to say.
Uh, I think when we are talking about this rehearsing part that we did, preparing a script if you can is also helpful. So basically, suppose you have decided that you'll be covering 3 of the 10 slides maybe. So in that case, if you just want to jot down the in bullet points maybe that what are the important points that I want to say when I'm covering this part of the presentation, then at least you know that these are the specific points that I would refer to. And obviously, you cannot decide on the exact words you would speak out, but you know the main blunt points that you have to cover. We can include pictures, whatever we want, but what you actually speak about also makes a lot of difference. Because I remember, if I remember clearly, the entire approach that we had adopted during the first submission, which was basically which we did not need to present, which we had to submit in the form of a PPT, was very different than what we presented on stage on the final day of the event. Because when you're there on stage, you get to add a lot of points, you get to speak about it, you get to explain it. But when you are having to put that in a PPT, you should include all the points. Maybe avoid the clutter, obviously, but points should not be missing so that they know that the kind of depth that you have gone to. But on stage, when you're presenting, the PPT would be very different. It would have a lot of blank space. The main points would only be highlighted, and then the rest, you would only take up the initiative and speak about each of these points.
So, okay, my final question to you is, what do you think is that one quality that made you guys the winners?
So I don't know if it's one quality or like a mix-up of all the things that we did. But one of the things, if you talk about what was the differentiator probably between the other teams who were there in the finals and us, I think when we presented our solution, it was first of all very detailed, as well as we covered a number of approaches that we thought of. So at least there were 5, 6 different viewpoints that we presented, and each of them were detailed in a way in which you would understand the structure in which to implement them, the benefits that would be derived from each of these, and the impact it will add to the organization. Along with that, some financials that we provided, the basic costing that would happen, and what was the derived impact that and how to quantify that. So probably that is something that would have helped us. Also, I think one very important thing is the confidence with which you present on stage. So we were nervous. I'll just put it simply. All of us were nervous because we have never been on such a grand stage before. But once you're on that stage, you can take the first 3, 4 minutes to collect your composure. And after that, for the remaining 10, 15 minutes, you have to be on at the top of your game. So I remember at the first we were shaking a bit, our voices were breaking. But once we were in that flow, I could see the change in the judges. Even the questions that were asked to us were very, I would say, not that there was no rebuttal that we faced. It was a genuine inquiry that they were doing about why we had arrived at this solution and how they can actually implement it going forward. So that is something I feel that if you give a detailed presentation, the questions coming to you would also be very helpful and it will serve your purpose. So what we did was we looked at the values that ABG has. So there are 5 values that are very important to the running of the organization and how they function. So we tried to incorporate each of these values into the presentation that we had submitted, and even tried to highlight like which of our solutions were in sync with which exact value of the organization. So if you can show something like that, it adds a lot of differentiation to your PPT. Also, we got to know over time that ABG likes to refer to their initiatives with a Sanskrit name. So, for example, their learning center is called Gyanodaya, And these were the things that we also tried to incorporate when we were giving creative names to each of the solutions that we had proposed. So we came up with solutions called Sampark, which was basically how they would connect with their employees. Then we came up with Samvedana, which is how they would leverage emotional intelligence. So all these things also give you an edge over the competition.
Neat. What do you think is that quality which made you guys the winner?
I think very rightly Sagni has covered all the important points. At the end of the day, I would also like to say that your objective should obviously be, making the cut and having that final winning thing in your hands. But ultimately, every competition that you make, you try to participate in, I think the objective should also be equally, I think, it has to be on learning. Okay. So, as in when any case study situation or any problem statement that has been given to you, you utilize that time period to make do as much research as possible and gain insights on that particular problem statement, because any and when, if you are required to talk about it probably in your internship interview or when you're doing your internship, there's a possibility that these kind of problems will come to you. So you know that you have done a good research on this particular issue and you can handle it. So I think objective should also be learning, and also the besides the grabbing that opportunity that the competition is giving. And also one more thing that I feel is that, let's say, the presentation that we had built and whatever efforts we had put in, it was extremely liked by the panelists of this particular company, ABG. But I also feel at the same time, if the same presentation with the same problem statement, would have been presented to some other company, let's say, I am not really sure about it that it would have made the cut. Okay, because every company's expectations are completely different, and somebody wants a very detailed solution, focusing more on the theoretical aspects. Some really want strong numbers to be supporting your reasoning. So every company is very different in their approach. So your focus should be giving your 100% and not really focusing upon what the panelists are going to like, what are they not going to like, and accordingly you should incorporate your solution. So I think that is one thing.
So thank you, Amni, Shagnik, and Pallavi for joining me in this video called Outside Insight and sharing your outside insight with our viewers. I'm sure you gave us a lot of strategies to stick by and follow whenever you're participating in any competition.